Hey guys, welcome to the G.U.H.L Week 4 recap. And let me start off by saying that the games this week were just a little bit less fruitful than the weeks previous. Most of the games were decided before the end of Sunday. But despite there not being many close matchups this week, the results of the games are definitely shaking things up in our standings. We had our first trade of the season between myself and Wink. Wink received DJ Moore, wide receiver for the Panthers, and I received David Montgomery, running back for the Bears. We both are hoping that it works well for the both of us. But as far as the rest of the happenings this week, let's see what went down. So both Ethans have looked really strong to start the season, and neither one of them disappointed this week. They both came out with easy wins and moved to 3-1. But they're not alone at the top because Sydney herself has proved to be a force to be reckoned with. So if you're feeling angsty and you're tired of taking that out on your friends and family, I give you 3 shiny new options. Feel free to harass them in the group chat at your earliest convenience. So our shining moment of the week was this week's game of the week, and that was between Sydney versus Casey. This was another fun game to keep track of, and the difference between you two never surpassed 16 points. But it truly came down to the wire. Sydney barely squeezed out with the win here with a final score of 133.44 to 131.18. Now, let's move on to the stud and dud of the week. With 158.2 points this week, our stud of the week is Cece. She came out with a relatively easy win against David in this week's game to watch. Both teams did well in their attempt to salvage what could have been a poor start to their season. But CC was just a bit too much, having 2 separate players score over 40 points, Joe Mixon and G.U.H.L. Hell of a week, CC. Our dud of the week is Ryan? It's Ryan? Alright, so I've just been informed that it's Ryan this week. He finished up with a low 86.6 point total, but truthfully, the real story here is that my main man, David Brown, ended his streak of diligent dud duty. Let's take a look at the press conference following his matchup. David, how do you feel about your 4th straight loss to open up the season? I'm not the dud. Is there anything you're looking to do to make changes to your lineup, or perhaps even making improvements using the waiver wire? Not the dud of the week. Next question. Truly inspiring, David. Now, let's skippity bebop on over to our next topic, global warming. Because honestly, I'm 100% confident in using greenhouse gas as an analogy for performing well on a football field. No? Our top scorer this week is Joe Mixon, running back for the Bengals. He was one of 2 40-point scorers for CC this week, finishing up himself with 42.1 points. Pivotal for Cece as this paved the way for her to steal David's lunch money. At number 2 was Odell Beckham Jr., wide receiver for the Browns. Using some clever play calling and even some trickery, the Browns' offense really revolved around OBJ this week. He finished up with 38.4 points for Marissa, though it was not enough in her loss against the best 2-2 team in the league. And at number 3 was Dak Prescott, quarterback for Dallas. Mans threw 500 yards in a loss against the Browns, and everything about that statement makes 0 sense. But fantasy-wise, he got himself a win under Wink's tutelage, finishing with 37.28 points. Now, Cece, I know what you might be thinking. Why wasn't G.U.H.L in the top 3? He had 40.1 points. 2 reasons. Number 1, it's entirely possible for one team to have all 3 spots in this list. And truthfully, I just think that would be a little boring, so usually I pick a top 3 from a list that consists of every team's top player. And number 2, you gotta win. Stud of the week, top scorer. I need to talk about other people in this video or it's gonna suck. So let's move right along to our top bench players this week, and honestly they're all a little bit irrelevant because none of them would have made a difference in their respective matchups. So I'm going to be quick. Number 1 is Tom Goaty McGoatface Brady the GOAT. He had 32.46 points for Ethan. Number 2 is DJ Chark. Shark? The wide receiver for the Jags had 29.5 points for Wink. And at number 3 was Teddy Bridge over Troubled Water. Quarterback for Carolina had 26.24 points on Casey's bench. Now, let's take a peek at who we might want to pick up this week. Our top free agent is Robert Tonyan, tight end for the Packers. He had 33.8 points this week, and I honestly feel like this could be a really good pickup for anybody. He has had a touchdown in each of his last 3 games, and this week he had 3 touchdowns. Honestly, pair that with the fact that Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball, somebody needs to pick up this dude. At number 2 is Sam Darnold. The quarterback for the Jets had 23.6 points this week against the Broncos. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last you hear about him from me this year. Only thing I have to say about this is, don't play the Broncos defense. And at number 3 was Tim Patrick, wide receiver for the Broncos. He managed 23.3 points this week against the Jets, which is surprising considering the uncertainty at quarterback in Denver. So the only thing I have to say about this is don't play the Jets defense either. Our pickup of the week goes to me. Y'all really let me get pickup of the week with a kicker. Randy Bullock, kicker, Jacksonville, 17 points. Y'all should be ashamed. It's time now for some straight facts. So this week, the Dallas Cowboys blocked an extra point attempt from the Browns. In a freak play, the Browns managed to recover it and were able to score a 2-point conversion. Crazy. It was wild. I saw the whole thing. The last time anything like this happened, extra point or field goal, was in 1993. The Dolphins attempted a field goal but had it blocked. But they were also able to recover it and they scored a touchdown. Against what team, you might ask? The Dallas Cowboys. All right, time for a sneak peek snack pack. Next week's game to watch is going to be Sydney versus Ethan. Not only is it husband versus wife, but it has big fantasy football implications. Both teams are 3-1, and the winner of this one is going to move to a very crucial 4-1 record. I would not want to be in that house this weekend. And that's going to be it for week 4. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure that you keep an eye on COVID updates in the NFL, as we were definitely affected by it this week. And of course, stay safe out there yourselves. I'll see you next week, and don't forget to set your lineups. Until next time.